when I was a lot younger, I used to faint a lot. When I was a lot younger as well, I traveled abroad I was actually just telling Hiyori this story because she was like, we went out today to go get lunch, and we were just like chatting about like, oh, what wild things have happened in our lives and stuff like that. And I was telling Hiyori about how I was actually blessed by the Pope in the Vatican. And she was like, what? What is your life? And I was like, yeah, so I fainted at Mass. And then they brought me into the medical center. The Knights of Malta treated me. And then apparently I'm blessed by the Pope. Ah, la, 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 you know? That's just what happened. I don't know how else to explain it. But for me, like, I didn't experience any of it. So the story was, I was studying abroad in Italy. And we were taking a class trip to Rome. My professor, and also coincidentally the I guess like head administrator of that branch of the school, like quote unquote the principal of the school. The way that my school was set up was that like each abroad school had their own like administration. So it wasn't like they would report back to the main school in America. It's like almost their own entirely separate thing. And so our principal had gotten tickets to Mass. By the way, you need tickets to go to Mass in the Vatican, if you didn't know that. There's only a set amount that are given out, and it's very exclusive. You have to like kind of be first come, first serve, or know people to get it. So you have to get these tickets to go to the Vatican, to go to Mass, in which our professor was able to get. And we all got tickets to go to the Vatican for Mass. And I was like, oh, great. Like, I'm not too familiar with religion and stuff, but it's still really cool to see, you know? Mass was about 3 hours. It was very long. It was incredibly long. And when you enter into the Vatican, you can't bring in water. You can't bring in food. You also don't get any shade. And it was a very hot day in Rome. It was, I think, like 110 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. That many tickets. Well, okay, my study abroad group was very small. So my study abroad group, I think, was a total of about 10 people. So it was 10 people plus some staff. I think we had a total of maybe 20 people go in. But yeah, so we go into Mass and we're sitting in the baking sun. There's no shade. We're not allowed water. And we just have to sit there. And like, obviously, I don't want to be disrespectful, right? But I was already feeling sick. I'm in a new country. You know, I'm not used to the bacteria here. My immune system sucks. I was already getting like sick. And I was feeling not good that day already. Like I was feeling feverish. I wasn't feeling great. But I was like, you know what? Like, this is a once in a lifetime chance to go to Mass and like go like experience the whole like exclusivity of it and everything, like live in person. I can't pass this up. So of course I power through it because I'm like, yeah, this is a once in a lifetime experience, you know? And so I go to Mass, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm dying. I'm like about to pass out. And I'm like, I have my fucking head on my hands. I'm like suffering. I'm groaning as like quietly as possibly as I can. And, you know, my professor is next to me being like, you got this, Yena. You know, you just gotta hold out for another hour and we're okay. We're good, you know? We're gonna get you some water. We're gonna get you some food. You'll be okay, right? Just like encouraging me through it, right? And I'm like sitting there like, yeah, okay, yeah, cool. We got this. Don't worry. We got this, right? We're doing all right. Cool. Bearing through it, right? The end of Mass comes. And obviously, I'm not too familiar with how Mass works. This is my first time going to one of these. And I'm also not super familiar with like the religion and everything. But I was just, you know, sitting there for the experience. Apparently, at the end of Mass, I wasn't familiar with this. But you get handed like the body of Christ in like a wafer. I don't, is it called communion? I think that's called communion, right? But you get handed like this little wafer that's like, supposed to be like blessed by the Pope, and then like it's supposed to like represent the body of Christ or something. I didn't really know what to do with it, but I was handed it, and my professor was just like, oh, just put it in your mouth, just eat it, you know? And so I was like, okay, sure. And then I passed out. And apparently I wasn't awake for this. I was knocked the fuck out. But apparently, there was a lot of like hushed voices being like, oh my god, she's like possessed by the devil. Like she passed out as soon as she ate the wafer, the body of Christ, whatever. And so I was rushed to the emergency room in the Vatican. And the Vatican has an emergency room that is like kind of an offshoot of the actual Vatican. So for those who don't know, the Vatican is very small. It's like a little city-state that's like literally like, I don't even know how big it is, but it's definitely not more than like the state of Delaware. It's like so tiny. But so I was rushed to the emergency room, to which I woke up to my professor being like, "Oh my God, Yena, you won't believe this. The Pope was just here, and he gave you his blessing. I didn't even know what to say. It was such an honor to see." And I was like, "What? What the fuck? Am I dead? What's going on? What's going on?" And then he's like going insane. He's like, whoa, this experience is crazy, right? And I look to my left, and there's this guy. He's this older Italian male nurse, and he's like, "Don't worry, the Knights of Malta are here to help you." And I was like, what the fuck? Where am I? What is going on? And then I come more to my senses, and I realize I'm in an emergency room, and they stick, this IV into my, into my palm. Not my palm, the back of my hand. What's this called? Just the back of my hand? Yeah. They stick like this little IV into my hand. They give me some liquids, and then I'm on my way. No price, nothing. I didn't have to pay anything. Apparently, the Knights of Malta are like a group of people off the coast of Malta who like pledge to like help people in need for nonprofit. So it's sort of like they go to either like special sanctioned events, or like they go to like lower income countries or places that need medical care but can't get them. So it's like free healthcare, but it's like a nonprofit organization. Yeah, I didn't know about them either. I didn't know about them until the Knights of Malta fucking traded me. Like I was like, what the fuck is the Knights of Malta? I thought I was dead. But yeah, so I got my IV. I recovered from my heat stroke, and then I left the Vatican. I went to regroup with the rest of my class. And that was it. That's the story. And that's the story about how I allegedly got blessed by the Pope. I don't know if it's true. It could have just been my professor being, exaggerating. The Pope could have just walked by. I don't fucking know. But that's me. Smile. Yeah, Italy was crazy, dude. I've got so many stories from Italy where I'm just like, wow, that happened? Yeah. But I'm gonna be so honest. It is very nice living a normal life. I like normalcy. Normalcy is nice, guys.